What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Supergirl Season 3, Episode 11, called Fort Raz. Now, I know I haven't been reviewing DC TV shows regularly, but I intend to do that going forward. The formula I use and the format I use to deliver these reviews will be slightly different. I'm not going to be going over every single little detail. I'm mainly going to go going over my thoughts and what I'm thinking is happening, and also the main plot points. So let's get into this episode. So it's called Fort Raz. So obviously they have to go up into space because Kara threw Fort Raz up into space, and the big issue is that the blue star's up there, so she's got no powers. So she has to get some help. So the episode starts with Samantha, who is actually Rain. She has to leave Ruby with Alex because obviously Alex got damaged by Rain, which is kind of funny when you think about it, because the person that broke your leg is standing right in front of you. So they are trying to track down the priestess inside of Fort Raz, which is kind of interesting, and I really did love the dialogue between Supergirl and Livewire, seeing as they used to be enemies and they were kind of like friends, which was interesting. And the scenes with Brainy, as they like to call him, Brainiac 5 and Win, were pretty funny because the technology where he's from is obviously the 12th, level 12th genius. It's kind of funny because he's basically saying the technology in our time is equivalent of an empty water bottle, which is very funny. So in this episode, they have to use Livewire and Psy. Obviously, Psy has crazy psychic abilities, which is very interesting. And obviously Samantha has a big meeting that she's going to do on behalf of Elena Luthor, which is kind of interesting. So they get up to Fort Raz and they realise that they are absolutely screwed. So they're going up there to get information about Rain, to try and take out Rain. But Supergirl's plan isn't to take it out. Supergirl's plan is actually to make her think about what she's doing and try to stop her. So they get attacked initially by one of the inmates who's in Fort Raz, who's been up there, and they basically boss her. But what's interesting is we have Livewire shooting electric at her, we have Supergirl punching even though she's got no powers, and then we have Psy using a psychic attack. But what happens when Psy gets hit is she does a full-on psychic attack to Imra. And what's interesting here is it looks like Imra gets put into some kind of dream state from this psychic attack, but it could be misled to think that maybe she's seen something that Imra didn't want anyone to use. Obviously, if you read the comic books, you know Imra, obviously Saturn Girl, can manipulate people psychically. We don't know if she can do this in the TV show. We've only seen that she can move objects, as in this episode she does open the door because Supergirl hasn't got her power, I guess you could say. So what's interesting is they have to go to the darkness inside the Fort Raz to actually find her, and there's some weird like ghosts of Krypton or some weird ghosts going around. I don't really know what it's about. But what's interesting when they find the priestess is she drops this line on him: uncertainty will be your doom, not greenstone. Obviously for inferring to kryptonite. She tells Kara, warning that there's darkness in every soul, a concept that Kara naturally rejects. Delivers a theatrical villainous speech gloating about hellfire coming and when the others wake. So obviously this does confirm, like we all thought, there are other world killers. She says the power, the pestilence, the purity. Now that to me clarifies there is 3 world killers. Is the power Rain? We know Julia is going to be playing purity, but who is the pestilence? So I don't know, guys, let me know, do you think the power is actually going to be Rain? And then is what actually is interesting is she goes, oh, now I can help you do your plan, and then Rain just kills her straight off. And Supergirl is shocked because her powers don't work the same as hers. But it's kind of interesting because the complex we had last week, when Supergirl injected kryptonite directly into her bloodstream, it did affect her, which is kind of interesting. Then we get some crazy fight with Livewire. She's getting her ass handed to her, and then Psy comes in and does a psychic attack. But what's interesting is when she attacks her, she's not having fears for Rain because she's not in full control of Rain. She's having fears of Samantha, and she sees her daughter Ruby falling, and then she kind of comes out of it and she's like, where am I, which is kind of interesting, because it must be like, damn, like obviously she was Samantha at that point, so she must be like, damn, you are clearly Rain, you are clearly Samantha, and Rain must be going, damn, you are clearly Supergirl, which is interesting. Then she flies off. Then we see her get back to Alex Danvers' house, where she's been babysitting for her, and she's lost time. She doesn't know where she's been, which is kind of interesting. We already know that in, I think, next week's episode or the episode after, that Alex Danvers is going to run some tests on her. So is Alex Danvers going to find out that she is actually Kryptonian kind of modified Rain before obviously Supergirl? So that's kind of interesting. So there's an interesting like part of this where Kara and Mon-El are talking, and he's actually given her advice once. This is a very different version of Mon-El than the one left, saying obviously, because Livewire died in this episode, and he's saying, but you turned her good, so you can turn anyone good, which is interesting. And then right at the end, we get introduced to Julia Freeman, I believe her name is. She's going to be playing Purity. She gets hit by a car, it doesn't affect her, and then she just pushes it off, which is very interesting. Obviously, we're going to be introduced to her, because this will be a scene from next week's episode, but I don't think they're properly going to introduce her till the following episode. So guys, the main plot points for this episode were, we found out there's some more world killers. Obviously, they all go up to Fort Raz. They didn't get any information really, except for some more world killers. The priestess gets killed. Rain is still savage. Samantha doesn't know who she is. And then what was interesting is she did reference Ruby saying, you've lost time. So it is evident that Rain doesn't know, she can't control her own abilities, which is kind of interesting, because it's like a split personality, but she can't control her own abilities. I personally really love this episode, guys. I really hope there is more to the kind of Imram Sai. What did Sai see when she went into her? I mean, it could be a fabrication of a fear that she's not actually got. But what is interesting is Sai didn't actually tell Supergirl anything about what she's seen when she looked into Rain's head. Now, if Samantha was ever, or if Ruby, or in fact was ever to come into DEO and Sai seen her, she could be like, hang on a minute, you were my dream from when I looked into Rain's head, and then they could actually work out who it is that way. But they most likely won't do that way. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be reviewing Flash, Arrow, all the TV shows again now. Hopefully. So let's just see how this video goes. So if you want to support the Supergirl reviews, that would be awesome, as they've been doing well, the theory videos. So I'm going to try and do a trailer breakdown, but I can't promise anything. But I'm at least going to get this review out up tonight. Anyway, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. That would be awesome, guys. And hit that bell button down below to join Team Warstu. Hope this video isn't all over the place, because I'm just freestyling this. I'm not scripting anything. And I will catch you in another video, guys. Catch ya later.